evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We are live again celebrating the release of my book, Girl, Forget All That. Moving Forward After a Relationship Ends. I am Shamel Jackson, the author of Wait, Women, and Intimate Tales and Girl, Forget All That. And I've been celebrating all month. All month we did a live. The first week of June, we had 2 guests. And this week we'll have 2 guests as well to close out the month of June. And I'm so excited about the 2 guests this week. I'm excited about all the guests, but I'm particularly excited about tonight's guest because it is a male guest. Yes, we are letting the boys in tonight. So boys are allowed tonight. You know how they say no boys allowed? Okay. The boys are coming in tonight. Hey, Ejizzle, the boys are coming in tonight. So go ahead and share this live with your friends, male or female, so we can talk about breakups, healing from a breakup, all the things that happen when a relationship ends. So again, thank you all to who pre-ordered. Hey, Erica, who pre-ordered the book, took advantage of the flash sale. I shipped out those books last week, and it's so funny that the book that went to Florida was the first one that the person that got it, and the people in Memphis hadn't even got their book yet. But that's okay. They got them now. As of today, I think all but 2, I think 1 or 2 have the books now. So if you're watching this video and you got your book, go ahead and read it. Do a review on social media, on Amazon. Those who know me personally, you can text me your review, message me on Instagram, message me on Facebook. Like, just do it. Just do all the things. And so I'm gonna bring our special guest on in a minute once he joins us. Just a little bit about our special guest. His name is Jerry Davis. He is an author. He's a life coach. He is a podcaster. And I'm gonna let him talk more about himself once we get him on here. So let's check and see if he's able to get on now, y'all. If you were here last time, let me see. The last live we did, we had to go to Facebook and do live on my personal page, but we gonna pray this not what's gonna be happening tonight. We're gonna be able to do this live, and it's gonna be fine, and all is gonna be good. So we are going to let's find Jerry. Let's find him to see where he is. Okay, Jerry has joined us, so we're gonna get him in. Okay, he sent a request. Okay, Jerry. Here we go. Okay, so let's yeah, we're gonna pray that the Jerry can come on in. No issues. Yes!
What's going on?
Here, Mr. Brain Drop himself is here. No problems.
Okay. We doing today?
We're doing good. We're doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You know, on the grind as always.
On the grind as always, yes. I was telling the people that we're letting the boys in tonight because you know how they say no boys allowed. No, the boys are invited tonight. So we're letting y'all in tonight. We'll know. We'll see how tonight goes. We let y'all keep coming. We gotta see. So Jerry, you gotta set the tone for if we let the boys come back next time.
Well,
another time.
I'm a first say, yeah, and I know I'm just messing with you, but instead of letting the boys, letting the men in, and there's a difference. So yeah, we gonna say it like that. You know what I'm saying? So because there's a definite difference between a man and a boy, just like there's a difference between a girl and a woman. You know?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yes, you listen. That statement right there is taking me way ahead of what I want to talk about. It's gonna get into what men do when what a man should do if he's calling himself a man. So, but before we jump ahead to that part, just tell the people about. I told him a little bit about you, but I said he can come on here and talk about himself better than I can. So I'll let the people know who you are and what you do and all that great stuff.
Okay. Well, my name is Jerry Davis. I go by JD. I moved here to Memphis in '06 from South Florida. Been here a lot longer than what I intended, you know. But like they said, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. But I think there's something around the horizon that's going to change for me by the end of this year. But I'm a TSU alumni, so HBCU, Tennessee State, not the other one.
Oh,
Um, I have one son. He teaches up in Boston,
okay.
so he kind of did something sort of like what I had done when I was in the school system for a moment. Um, I'm author of 2 books, um, Five Dimensions of a Man, Five Dimensions of a Man Reloaded. First one came out in 2015. The other one was 2019. Of course, folks know me from the podcast. I had one of my own back in the day called Lifegistics. And then the new one that I've been a part of that I had the pleasure of having you on as a co-host along with Erica Jackson, who's eGizzle 40s watching right now. What's going on, Erica? Called CAP, Cultivate, Accumulate, Prosper. Um, Working on some other things down the line, another book, and some other endeavors that I'm looking to do. So I'm really a simple guy that's driven. I'm decisive. Some people may say it's stubborn. It is what it is. This is life. I know what it is I want, and I just have a relentless pursuit of it. Like those 2 guys in the back of me right there, Kobe and Mike, MJ's. Like I take that type of determination, motivation, and I'm gonna go do it, whether you're on the team or not. So and it like with anything in life, it comes with its drawbacks, and we all get frustrated or whatnot. But I try to stay rooted in God. Once the frustration subsides, I try to make the best conscious decision, whether it's business or personal, relational, family, friends, or potential significant other, and just try to enjoy life, you know, uh,
Yeah.
and progress
Yeah.
because we're on such a short time clock, as everybody knows.
Right. I can definitely. I have witnessed that you are a very decisive person, and that's good. That's a good thing to be because who wants to be connected to somebody who's unstable and like you can't make a decision. So you have to be decisive to get things done, or else they won't get done. So it's good. That's a good trait to have. But thank you for accepting my request to be a part of live. Me and Jerry connected over a year ago, I think. What were
Yeah.
we in June? Yeah, over a year ago, and now here we are. So we're gonna get right into it, and it's a good thing to have because women talk all the time about breakups and what happened, just all the stuff. But we never, well, I don't say never. Oftentimes we do not hear the male side when it comes to relationships ending because they have a side like there were 2 people in the relationship, so there's naturally 2 sides. So I'm just gonna follow through the book, like my journey from healing from the relationship, then the relationship ending, and then what happened with me after the relationship ending that I was involved in 5 years. Let me see, hold on. Yeah, 5 years ago. And so one of the things I do want to talk about is, towards the end of the relationship, I did notice some things. And so, like, I was in a long distance relationship in this book. And so I did notice, because I was making plans to relocate. So I noticed a change in his plans. I wasn't included in them. So, but me, I'm very decisive. I can be very decisive. So when I had made my mind up, I'm going, and it's really hard to. Sometimes it's hard for me to come back if I'm already made up my mind about it, and so I just ignored whatever he was saying or not saying in the process, and just kept moving forward. So there were red flags, I guess you can call it a red flag, that this relationship is something is happening, but I ignored it. So I wanted to ask you, Jerry, in your last relationship when it ended, well, how did it end? Were you the person that ended or they ended it? And then I guess you say, how did you know like it was ending, coming to an end?
My last relationship it ended 4 years ago. 4 years ago exactly, come August, and we was make a long story short, we took a trip to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Um, Never been there. She had never been there at the time. And I had gotten a ring. I've never done that with anybody I've ever dated. Now, family was surprised. They was like, whoa, you serious?
Wow.
Yeah, every kiss began with K. But that wasn't meant to be. Sure enough, we had our issues, like anybody have. She's a headstrong person. I'm a headstrong person. But when when we got on the vacation, you know, there was a little disagreement that came about, and I didn't really think much of it, but it just spazzed out from something small to something big, and
Mhm.
it really ruined the moment that I wanted to do with presenting her with the ring, and it was something that I never imagined that would have happened. And so once calmer nerves calmed down after a while from on both of us, I showed her what my intent was going to be, and she was like, "Let's first see about going to counseling first," which that was going to be in the plans. But when she said that just kind of drew the air out of everything for me, because it was like, you know, I knew about going to do that, but just by her saying that at that moment, after cooler heads prevail, it just wasn't the same. We got back from the trip. Second half of the trip was better than the first half. We was there for like, I think it was either 4 or 5 days. I believe it was 5. It may have been 4, but like that first day and a half, it wasn't. But the rest of the trip was. But when we got back, things just wasn't the same, and it just came to a point where just I wanted to talk. When women say, "Can I talk to you?" With the guys were like, "Oh, okay. What's this gonna be about?" And you know, it was what it was.
Mhm.
She was still close to my family because, of course, my niece, um, who passed away last September, who's like a daughter to me, she was close to her as well. So she did her first children. She's an author just like me. She has more books than I have out. But she did her first children's book was dedicated to my niece. It was called Prayers for Janiyah. So, of course, at the memorial service, she spoke or whatnot. And since then, she has moved on with somebody, and they post stuff all on social media or whatnot. And I had people who were friends with both of us early on that used to like hit me in the inbox like, "Wow, I just thought y'all," and I was like, "It's cool. People
Mhm.
move on. I'm
Yeah.
happy for it. I'm not dude. Dude is not me. It is what it is." And and I say that without any arrogancy or anything, but I'm like, you have to be confident with yourself. I went through the healing process. I actually went to went to therapy a few months after we broke up because I was so angry. Like, and I knew I was getting ready to go on a rampage. And I say that since because as men, sometimes we tend to handle our emotions differently than women. Or what? Ain't no
Mhm.
tend to, for the most part we do. And some people vice is this, some people vice is that. Uh, I know what my vice was, and I knew when I was younger if I felt like I was hurt, how I reacted afterwards. But now, fast forward and being a much older gentleman, I mean older than what I was when I was younger, but I tried to handle it different. So I'm glad I did go to therapy. Now I'm not gonna sit here and say that there was times where I faltered a little bit, but I'll always be upfront with folks like, look, I'm not trying to get in no relationship, so we can hang out or we not. It's fine. Uh, don't make me think something. I'm definitely not gonna make you think anything. And so, but it was going through that therapy showed me a whole lot, not only about myself, some things that stem from my childhood when people letting me down, or dealing with abandonment issues that I didn't realize I had. And so I think sometimes as men, especially when we're dealing with a woman that we really care about, not just somebody we're just doing something with, There's a difference, when someone that you really care about as opposed to someone that just, we cool, we kick it. Um, that hurt it's a different hurt with men. Men internalize it differently. And, a lot of times if they don't seek to let that out, talk to someone that's unbiased, like a counselor or someone they can trust and take the necessary steps to heal, um, they're internalizing that and go on a rampage in some form or fashion, whatever that rampage may be, because they feel like, what's the point? This didn't happen. It hurt me. And now, because you always sometimes you hear that saying, good guys finish last, good girls finish last. Well, I mean, if you get hurt, you'll sometimes feel like, whoa, like I didn't cheat. I wasn't physically abusive. I don't think I was emotionally abusive. We had our moments that we said things, you know, but you have to realize, like, okay, let me do the self work on self and then keep
Mm-hmm.
it moving. So when I'm ready to get out there and seriously talk to somebody again, I've learned from my mistakes. I've learned from whatever she done that I know I didn't like. So if I see that in the next woman, I can be like, whoa, okay, let me talk to her so I can make her understand this is something that I'm seeing that I don't like or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So you're supposed to learn from it, and I
Right.
can say that for myself. So
Right. That's good. Yeah. Ooh, that's so good because like you said, you do all the right things and you're like, okay, really, what's really going that's really going on. So that's how I felt as well. Like, I actually was mad at God as well because I'm like, are you serious? Like, it. What? Why did this happen? I was trying to be the best I thought I could be, and so but it is what it is, and like you said, you move past it. But when I like you said, you wanted to go on a rampage, but you decided to go another direction because you said men handle emotions differently, and so you actually was aware that you didn't need to be in a relationship, and I actually when I got back into the dating scene, I talk about this in the book. I had an encounter or situation with a guy. He had been married before, and to make a long story short on the live, he was not like I noticed some things what was going on with him. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I know something is not right. And so I kind of I distanced myself from him, but he came back and apologized to me for how things went down and the reason why he was the way he was. Well, this is okay. It's not an excuse for him to be there, but this explains his actions.
yeah.
He was not healed from his past relationship.
Mm.
So you said at the beginning, instead of boys, we say men. It takes a man to do that. Like I knew when he came back months later and actually apologized to me and actually confessed to not being healed from a marriage, and that's a whole different type of relationship. So you can imagine we were in, just a regular relationship, but this is actually a marriage. So you can just imagine the hurt that came from whether or not if he was at fault or she was at fault, whatever the case may be. But he, just said I wasn't ready. And that's why he was acting the way he did with me. But we were actually on two different pages as well, because like you said, you weren't ready to invest into a relationship. He wasn't, but he had other things going on. So I just appreciate when a guy comes to you and gives you the truth. And that's and can you speak? Oh yeah, can you speak from, but just from your perspective when like sometimes in my experience, I can only speak from my experience and experience of women I know that just like in this relationship I mentioned in the book, it was hard for him to tell me the truth about what was going on with him. But I finally got it years years
Mm.
later. And this hasn't been that's happened before when the guy had it was they had a hard time telling you what the truth is. So I don't know if that's a loaded question or not, or if you have
Mm.
been there where you had where you had to, or does that come with maturity? Telling a woman
the truth, even if she don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that you know that is somewhat of a loaded question, but it all depends on the guy. Once again, where he's at in life, where his mentality is. Being a me growing up, I was into sports. Like a lot of guys, not all guys are. Some guys are into other things, but I was into sports and football in particular. Football is one of the most aggressive sports in America. You know, um, it just is. It's not for every young boy. When you see, if you ever see the little league and you see some kids who are scared and timid, they usually tell the moms, "Well, if he's scared to get hit, maybe this is not the game for him because you can get hurt." It's one of those
Mm-hmm.
things where you gotta channel your aggression and be able use it constructively. I say all that to say is, we're taught, uh, most young men growing up, especially if like my parents were together, then they divorced. So then it was me and my siblings and my mother and my father and mother divorced and my dad, moved away. Um, a lot of times we're not taught emotional intelligence. You know, we come up learning how to survive and the form of masculinity that we look at is from whatever it is that we're into. Like some young boys are into music, some are into sports. I was into kind of both, but definitely sports. And if there's not a coach or some type of mentor there that has some wisdom, not just you know wisdom in the form of many forms of wisdom, like spiritual wisdom, some street knowledge. I think you need a combination of all of that to be a well-rounded guy. But if you get a bunch of BS from somebody who was hurt and saw the wrong things from men treating women, then whatever is feeding into a young guy's ears, how he's going to internalize, and that's going to be a part of his identity. So if he's used to growing up seeing a father, uncle, somebody always lying to women, running game, whatever. A lot of times, unless he sees a different example, he's going to internalize that, and that's going to be his coping mechanism. Now, it doesn't make it right, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the reality of some things. But once a man realizes, as he grows older, that he knows truly right from wrong and know if he really care about this woman, or just knowing point blank, like, okay, would I want that happen to me if it was the other way around? It takes a conscience. So if he ain't got
Mm-hmm.
a conscience, if he's not using his conscience and everything's about what I want, then they'll do that and not think nothing of it. And then what they'll do is they'll gaslight. They'll turn it back on the woman and gaslight. In
Mm-hmm.
my younger days, if I look back on it, before I really started maturing, I probably did a little bit of that, to be honest. But I wasn't I wasn't trying to be methodical with it. It was just, like, girl, what are you talking about? Then I came, then we were going out or whatnot. I was that type of guy. Like, what are you talking about? Because but as you get older and you start growing more in the word from life, teaching you and humbling you and a lot of things, and you start leaning closer to God, it doesn't mean you still won't have discrepancies or things that's we all have faults or make mistakes, but you start learning from those, so you try to minimize it. So when it
Yeah.
comes to dealing with a woman after your younger experiences, you know, immature experiences, I should say, doing any and everything, once you mature as a man and you realize, like, okay, now, especially if it hits you back, like if the boomerang,
Uh,
or as they say, karma come back around. And I've experienced that when I was younger, so I was like, I don't like how this tastes. Hell no. So that's when I realized, like, okay, now you start internalizing the saying, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You know,
yeah.
so in that case, a lot of guys, until they mature like that, no matter if they're in their late 20s, and you're still learning in your 20s. I'm not giving no one an excuse, but you're still learning a lot in your 20s. But
Yeah.
once you're in your 30s and 40s,
Yeah.
especially mid 30s on up, you should have enough life experience, whether you've been married, not been married, whether you had children, not have children. you should have enough life experience to truly know right from wrong and know how to treat a woman the right way. Especially, I don't have a daughter. I have a son. My niece was like the daughter I never had. God rest her soul. But for these brothers who got daughters that's doing a whole bunch of wild stuff, they got to know now. Karma has no expiration date, and you won't want to put that on your daughter. And I'm listening to guys at the barbershop, and some of them realize like, well, man, I used to do that, but now I got some little girls, man. I got, because they realize, like, man, what you done to somebody else's daughter that wasn't right, what you think's gonna happen to yours? All because of stuff that you done. So
Yeah.
I really think that just thinking about that, some men, decide, okay, let me straighten up. It just depends on what the reason is. Maybe they come across that woman that they really care about and see that she's different, and make them want to do things better, and they decide to straighten up. But then some, it takes something hurtful for them to, and so it just really depends on the man's mentality and his maturity on when he decides to, okay, let me leave all this nonsense alone, and I see I've got someone that's special, that really has my back, and that I really care about, and let's try to make this work. But it's contingent upon where his mindset is.
Yeah. That's good. Hey, Rolanda. Thank you all who are tuning in. Feel free to comment on things that are being said or questions that you may have for either one of us. But that's good. I'm in agreement. Some, like, when the more you, like, the old people used to say, well, now I'm saying it now, like, keep keep living. So I'm the old person. Keep living. Like, I didn't know if that meant until probably like 2 or 3 years ago. Like, what do you mean keep living? Okay. I hope I keep living. I'm not ready to die. So what do you say? What do you say it? So, but now I understand, just hearing younger women talk about dating, just life in general. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, just keep living, just keep living. So, but yeah, maturity. And same for a woman too, because I'm
Yeah.
definitely not the same person that I was dating at 20 something. Like, I'm totally different. You shouldn't be the same. So I definitely agree with that. So it goes for the man and the woman, because women can do some things too when we are hurt. It just, like you said, we process things differently. And so you mentioned you were angry, you had a lot of emotion. So what's another emotion that you had when that relationship ended? And did you handle it all in therapy, the emotion that came from it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Besides being hurt, of course, I mean, I was angry. I was angry because I felt like, I know some things I could have done better, but I know quite a few things that I did do, and I was like, damn, are you taking into account what I did do? What was right? I was feeling like that. Then, like I said, I had never ever went and got a ring for anybody. You know what I'm saying? And but you live and you learn. I mean, it's better to know. It's better to know ahead of time than after the fact. Then
that's
now you got to get into spending money for a divorce and all of that. And I've never been married, but I got plenty of friends who have, and some are still married, happily married. Other ones have been divorced, and they tell me, depending on the circumstance, that could get really ugly, and it costs. Costs in a lot of ways, not only financially but mentally, emotionally. So. So what I had to do when I did that was, it was a good thing that I went to therapy, because, like I said, in my younger days, how I would react if it was somebody I really cared about. I would just be like, okay, all right, I'm gonna get out here, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I did, thinking that was a way to get my mind off what was what, and and I'm not embarrassed or ashamed to say that I did, because I mean, I'm always gonna be a transparent type of dude. Like, yeah, I love God. Yeah, I'm a good guy, but I've done things I haven't been proud of. I never did anything to make anyone do something that they didn't want to. or try to take advantage of anybody. It was never nothing like that. But what I did do was, you know, like, okay, I'm here. What's up? What's up? You telling me what's up? Okay. And then folks hit you up like, what's going on? I heard from you. I'm like, what you mean you ain't heard from you? You just saw me a couple days ago. You know, so I didn't turn to that. And I I count that towards the fact of where I was age wise, and because of going to counseling to just work through some of the emotions that was in me that stem from childhood, stem from my parents getting divorced at an early age, me taking on responsibility, me being a teen father in my senior year of high school, finding out a couple months before graduation that I was going to be a father. So, and then transferring from a JUCO college to Tennessee State, all while, I didn't go to the last year of Freaknik. I missed Black College Beach weekend because I was trying to go home to see my son. I was trying to be mature, and then had the major I had with computer science. And I always took on a whole bunch of responsibility, which grew me up because I'm the oldest of 4 kids. I got 3 siblings, and I'm the oldest. Then I end up becoming a young father. So I've always had a lot of responsibility. Had I not, I'm going to be honest, if I hadn't had my son when I was in college, there's no telling. There's no telling what would have happened because I missed out on some things because I chose to go home. I did. Like, I told some of the fellas, like, hey, man, I'm going to have to. It's like, you're not rolling down to Daytona with us? I'm like, man, my son is still, he's just 1 or 2, whatever age he was at the time. I'm like, I'm going home, for this break or whatnot. And so, in hindsight, looking back at that time, I was like, man. But I was like, I gotta do the right thing. He didn't ask to be here. I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna do what's right. But but when I look at it now, I'm like, yeah, because it was a lot of things some of my friends got off into. I've seen the videos and stuff, but I'm like, leave, man. Now when I look at it, when they, was talking about bringing all this out for Hulu and stuff, I was like, well, I wasn't down there, so I'm good. But you look back in hindsight, that's when you realize, like, okay, everything happens for a reason. But even now, even with me being single, and I go out from time to time with people, but there's been nothing that's been serious. I've had people who express interest in me, but then they got a lot going on. So I always tell them, like, hey, whether they got a child they're taking care of or they got whatever else they got going on, no children, whatever, I'm like, do what you do. And, if time permits and we see this as just being more than friends, then we'll let that happen, organically happen how it happens. But I used to be always the guy that's trying to persuade, not running game, but persuade a woman like, hey, I'm that dude. I'm that dude for you. I'm a good guy. You see this. I handle my business. I can do this and that. And I was confusing persuading a woman with pursuing a woman. They're not one and the same. I shouldn't have to persuade you. Like, if you get to know me, know my character, know the type of guy that I am, as you get to know me or whatnot, and if you find me attractive in a lot of different ways, then that should speak for itself the same way I am as I'm getting to know you. But what a lot of folks do, a lot of fellas do, and some women do, they try to persuade somebody. And persuasion is a tricky bag. It can go either way.
Yeah.
But when you try to persuade somebody, you're probably doing a whole lot more than what you probably should be doing. Because so when it says, like, people go back biblical and be like, well, man should pursue a woman, true enough, but pursuing and persuading is just, to me, that they're not the same thing. So I've had to learn that myself when I caught myself in the past after that relationship, even before that relationship came along, that I'm doing a lot of trying to persuade. I'm being authentically genuine. I'm being genuine, but I'm like, nah. So now I'm at the point now at where I'm at in my life now. I'm not trying to persuade you. I mean, either you see what you see as you get to know me. If you choose to get to know me, I'm gonna be transparent about the things I like and don't like. I'm gonna be transparent with you if I see something like, whoa, can we talk a moment? Like, what was this about? You know, um, and wherever you at in your walk, whether you are, wherever you at in your walk personally as a woman, if I find value in you or whatnot for me in that way beyond just a friend, then I'm gonna do my best to, I don't want to say accommodate, but meet you where you at. If I see that there's a mutual connection there, I'm not gonna knock you if you on the whatever journey you on, but just be. I want a person to be honest with me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we all busy. Everybody's busy. So if you're too busy, that's cool. Just tell me. Don't shoot me with the. And the only time you want to growl is if I'm to pick up the bill for to get something to eat, because I'm gonna look at you after a while like, hold up, this is the only time, and that's happened before too, and I caught it early on though. I caught it early on, and I was like, and I brought it to their attention. It's like, well, no, it's not like that. It's just, I'm like, so what is it like? You keep it real with me, because if it was the other way around and I'm trying to come at you, trying to get you out your clothes, you would feel some kind of way. So I think, people got to keep it 100. It don't matter how, like I tell people, it don't matter how spiritual you claim to be or non-spiritual, street, sorority, corporate, single mother, no children. I don't care what encompass you. Just keep it 100 with Mr. Davis, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. But if I peep that you're taking my kindness for a weakness, then I'm gonna bring it to your attention, and you feel how you want to feel. But that's better than me being like some folks who just, because in my younger days I probably would have just ghosted you, like, you know what, whatever. So, I'm I don't do it. I don't do it like that, but I will just be like, oh, what is this about? Because it goes both ways, and I think a lot of time women don't see that. Some women don't see that. Like, I can go out to dinner, and and that just be what it is. But then let them know, like, okay, it's cool that you take me out to dinner. I like you, but not in that way. Whatever the case, you got to do, but don't, because you'll notice you'll know when a guy's really into you. He's gonna do things that's different than just common things that he does just for a platonic female friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm gonna be out here at such and such. You can meet me out there. Then everybody paying for their meal. He calling you up like, hey, what you doing? I want to take you out. What time can I pick you up or whatnot? And then how he interacts with you. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to tell, does he like you, or you'll be able to tell if he just lusts you. You would know that too, because all that trying to keep hands always on you when you sit next close to him, and you all haven't established that. Like, hold up, bro. You'll be saying that. So, I think it takes a woman using her intuition. But as like I said, as men, I've been down that road where once I peeped that that's what you're about. You trying to, all you trying to do is get a free meal every time you holler at me. Nah, sis, we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep it moving, because I'm like, I'll do something nice for you, but don't be like that, because I'm gonna bring it to your attention. Because if I flip it the other way, like some guys do and come at you just trying to get you out your clothes, you'll feel some kind of way. If you're a self-respectable one, we ain't talking about the hot girl or something.
Yes.
So it is what it is, man. People gotta keep it 100. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. And so, ladies, if you're watching this video, you want to go in JD's DMs. He gonna keep he gonna keep 100. And I am a witness. He's gonna keep it 100. He's gonna be transparent. He's gonna call you out. So don't try to come from him. So, and then I like to say, you're going to be able to know if he's going to lust. Is he lusting at you, or you like you? I like that.
Well,
I like that.
Yeah, come on. We know, where everybody grown. You know the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here. I'm a man, so I'm going to always keep it 100. I'm not here to, to bash nobody, because has given women intuition. He's giving men the same thing. Now, when I was in my younger days, I used being athletic wise and and what I call my little swagger. I used it to my advantage at times. And then, like on the movie, when I got hit with the boomerang, I was like, shit, I don't like this. So I had to realize, like, okay, let me be on my grown man. Let me tighten up. Let me tighten up on how I do or whatnot. Some guys get to that earlier. Some guys get to it later. Some guys don't get to it at all. But you know what it is? It's still a choice. Just like it's a choice to do something wrong, it's still a choice. And the same thing with women. Some women play a lot of guys because they may look attractive to the eye, but they use whatever they gotta use to manipulate. But I mean, at some point, it catches up. So, but it's a choice. It's a choice on either end.
Yeah, it's a choice. We all have a choice to move forward, or we all have a choice to do that. So I know, and I know you're a big music person. If y'all can still go back and listen to his Life Logistics podcast, because I like that on them you had music included on episodes. And so I know you're a big music person. So I did listen to a lot of music when I was healing from this breakup, because I was in transition with jobs and stuff at the time. So where I was at, I didn't have to deal with public. So it was just me and my coworker doing what we do. And so I had a lot of time to listen to music, podcasts, like everything. But mainly it was music that really helped me a lot as well. So I want to know what is on, well, what was on your we can call it a breakup list. My list is called something totally different. My playlist, and I got like 1,001 songs on here probably, but I'll go first. One of the songs I have, or two songs I'll mention that I have, because I got two separate lists. One is gospel, strictly gospel, and the other one is like inspirational, woman empowerment, that whole type of thing. And so one song that it came out in 2019 actually, and my breakup happened in 2018. So I added it. I've added songs since then just to have those songs on the list. But it's by her. And I actually was singing it yesterday. It's called As I Am. And it's interesting. I was singing this yesterday for whatever reason. I look on social media today, and today's her birthday. I had no idea it was her birthday or anything like that. So I just thought that was interesting that I was playing her song yesterday, and today's her birthday. So that's one song that's on my list. Just to play. I play it anyway, whether I'm dealing with a breakup or not. It's just about, accepting. I'm not going to sing today because I can't. I don't know the song enough to sing for y'all today. I don't got enough right now. So, but if I play it, I can sing along with it, but not right now. But it's basically about accepting the people, accepting as you are, as I am. And so I like that song because it resonates with one of the blessings from the breakup. That's the last chapter of the book I have. I got to know more about me and my strengths, my weaknesses, like all of that. Like when you spend time with yourself, you learn a lot about yourself that you didn't know, you may like, you may not like. And so, but I got to a point where it's like, well, it is what it is. I mean, we all have room to grow. Till we leave this earth, we're going to be constantly maturing. So I had to come to a point where this is who I am. This is where I'm at, and I'm good with that. And so either you're going to accept it like it as is, or you're not. It's in Mary J. Blige has a song as well, "Take Me As I Am." So it's all of that. So that's why that song resonates with me. And why wouldn't you? I wish I can get the lyrics together on this. No, I got them right here. I'm just not going to sing them. That's what I'm not going to do. You just tell me the best I am. I'll be feeling like, yes, I am. You know I'm the best I am. Then she goes on to say, you be a fool to not take me as I am. So that part resonates with me. You be a fool to not take me as I am. And so that's how we should feel about ourselves. So that's one song on my playlist. And then the other one is Known by Torrin Wells. He's a new gospel artist. Now this song was out during the time of the breakup, but just being known, because when you get rejected by somebody, it's like, okay, you kind of feel some type of way, like, what's wrong with me? So, but it's just a reminder to let me know that I am known by God, even if this man did not accept me as continue to be in a relationship with him. So those are my songs tonight. So what's your songs?
When you said my songs that when you saying songs in regards to how I felt after that, or just in general that makes me think about situations in my past. Because I don't have a breakup list.
Last, not I don't know what you. I don't want a song from the last thing you said. A song that kind of help you move forward in that time.
From a gospel tip, I would say Marvin Sapp, the best in me. That's actually my favorite Marvin Sapp song.
Okay.
Gospel song, even though he has some hits, no doubt. Simply because, if someone was to ask her or any of my exes, they all would agree that I'm a pretty decent guy. I'm a good guy. They had some form of love for me for the amount of time we was around each other. But it's so easy for the things that people don't like to harp on that. You know what I'm saying? Or to share that with the people that they know, because friends or whoever, gonna take whoever they get a side of the story from, or whatever the case may be. But that song just reassured me that no matter what, no matter all my proclivities, issues, that God still sees the best in me. And once upon a time, whomever I was with saw a lot of good in me as well. Otherwise, they wouldn't invested their time and their affection and everything else in me. So, now, as far as on the R&B tip, I'm trying to think what was out at that time, but a song that I always like listening to, period, is I like listening to a lot of different Brian McKnight songs. Anytime. Um, I'm tripping because I shared that in the story about for this live. The Carl Thomas song, even though nobody was married, that's when I was still kind of, little agitated about it, you know what I'm saying? But in hindsight, no, I don't wish I didn't. It was everything happens for a reason. But it's just a variety of different songs that I listen, because I'm a lover of music. For me to be a guy that's into sports, love working out and other stuff like that, when I'm writing, relaxing, meditating, thinking, depending on what mood I'm in, I'm listening to some form of music, whether it's R&B, old school R&B, neo soul, inspirational gospel, reggae, some jazz. But I can say, during that time or coming out of that time, that Marvin Sapp song just really just kind of hit home to me, because it was just like, no matter what nobody think, or if nobody no longer this is not going to be like that in this moment anymore, being together, God still sees the best in you. You're a man of value, man of valor, man of courage, man of vision. I had to really encourage myself. Not that I didn't think I was worth it, but to subside and fight against the anger and trying to figure out, what could I've done better. You'll rack your brain trying to do that, a man or a woman. Like some things when it ends, it just ends. No matter whether it's mutual or whether they did or whether you do it. It's just one of those things to where you have to come to terms with that. And I know it's a lot more if someone is married, but it doesn't matter if you're married or just in a relationship. A relationship is any form, whether it's marriage or you're dating somebody, that's still a relationship. But sometimes when it ends, regardless of who in it or whether it's amicable or not amicable, you know, you can overthink for days. It's just what it is. You have to come
Yeah.
to the conclusion this was what's best, something better for them down the road, and there's something better for yourself down the road. So that's
Yeah.
why I don't, when I see what I see on social media, I don't be tripping on that. I mean, I keep scrolling through the news feed and keep it moving. Because we're still friends on social media. Like I said, she still checks with my sister because she was close to my niece. But and we see each other, we speak and all, but that's to the extent of that. I don't, I don't have hold no ill will because this was once a person I was gonna give a ring to. So I
Yeah.
mean, but now I mean, it is what it is. So and I don't, and I had to shut a couple nosy folks down that got in my inbox like, well, I was like, hey, it's cool. That's life. She's happy. I'm okay. I'm happy with what I'm doing. Let that be. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
True. Yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up with two things I want to wrap it up with. One I got to do because you know why in a minute. But what would you say? What was one of the best things that happened to you as a result of that relationship ending? Like, had that relationship not ended, what would not have happened? Is it?
I, I I would say just me really looking internally internally into myself for how I handle um, I kind of say rejection, but more so like the feeling of abandonment. You know what I'm saying? Because I've had people in the course of my life, not only just from family, but from people I dealt business with, and but in relationships that I felt like, okay, now when stuff was getting tough on your end, I was there. And now
Mm-hmm.
if it flipped towards my end, now here come I don't know or whatnot. So um, I think just learning from after that ended, just learning like, okay, JD, just take time for yourself. If you choose to one day to be a husband or what have you, when the right time comes, that'll happen. If you choose to do that, if you choose not to do that, you still loved by God. You still gonna do some great things before your time is up on this earth. But just not having to, just really looking at myself as some of the things that make me tick, and some of the things that I realize that I don't want from a female, from a woman, like
Mm-hmm.
that I know I wouldn't tolerate.
Yeah.
So I'd say I took those things away from that, um, and now I look through a lens that's totally different than what I would have prior to that. Like
Yeah.
when it comes to dealing with women, regardless if they're my age, a little older, or a little younger, whatever phase they are in life, children or a child, I should say. We're not going to say children. I've done that before. uh, no children, been married before, never been married, um, really on their Christian walk, not on their Christian walk, regardless. Now I'm equipped to be like, okay, let me see how if I see the value in it being something than just a friendship, platonic business or whatnot, anything like that. If it's something romantically, now I know how to approach that and meet them where they're at, be transparent, and hopefully get them to be transparent with me. Like, it's okay if you feel a certain way. I'm not gonna take advantage of you because you feel that certain way, but just keep it real with me. Don't shoot me all this representative the woo 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 throwing scriptures out or telling me on how you girl hustle all the time. I get it. I respect that. I do too. I mean, but don't hide behind that. Be you,
Mm-hmm.
because that's at the end of the day. That's for most men. That's what's gonna keep a man there, is that you able to be you, because then they're able to truly be themselves, and not there's no judgment passed.
Yeah.
Like that
Right.
opening up. If I'm gonna open up, you've got to open up to me. It's got to be mutual. You know what I'm saying? If it's not, then there's gonna be a part of me. I'm like, I don't know. And when I have that I don't know in the back of my mind, usually that's when, and I'm decisive. I'm gonna decide to be like, I'm gonna keep it moving, because
Yeah.
it should be no doubt in my mind. Like, whatever time frame we getting to know each other, I should be able to know, like, okay, this is different, but she's being genuine. I'm being genuine. Okay, let's see where this goes. So I just learned to really just look at things like that from a different lens. You know what I'm saying? It's like me
Yeah.
taking my glasses off. I see you, because I'm nearsighted. I see everything, but if it's something far away from me, it's not as clear until I put my glasses on or got my contacts in.
Yeah.
So
Right.
now I'm able to see things not only when it's up close to me, but when it's far away, and be like, nah, that ain't that. Oh, that's what it really looks like. Oh, okay, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So we can't end without you giving us a brain drop. We can't end it without giving us a brain drop. Tell the people what is a brain drop, and then give us your brain drop for people who are currently dealing with hurt from a relationship ending.
well, I came up with the whole premise of the brain drop like a few years ago. I'm a lover of wisdom. Anybody that know me, besides besides music, sports, and stuff, I just love absorbing wisdom. So I would always be the young cat even when I was in college at Tennessee State up in Nashville. I would go to this Miss Winters and go and there'd be some older gentlemen there playing checkers, and I learned checkers from playing against my great grandfather and everything. So and they would just have so much knowledge, and and they was surprised that a young guy would really be trying to listen, you know. But I've always been like that. Now I'm not old like that yet, but now I get called by younger guys, OG, Unc, all those things that I didn't used to embrace at first. Like, man, I ain't none of your uncle. What the hell you talking
Yeah.
about? But
Oh,
yeah. But now, I take it as a term of endearment. But I um, I impart that because everybody's dealing with stuff out here, man. Everybody's dealing with is dealing with something. So whether it's a quote that I see from somebody else or it's something that I think of at the time that I'm feeling it, I usually post it in my stories or whatnot, set to music. So like I said, I love music because I'm feeling that way, and I know it's helping me at that moment, and I know it helps somebody else. So that's how. And you think of raindrops falling. I'm like, well, let me drop some on your brain as a brain drop. You know what I'm saying? I need to get that. I need to get that trademark. I gotta get this money up so I can get that trademark for someone.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But so that's how that came about. And what I would say for today for folks dealing with anything is the mind can't erase what the heart can't delete. I say that again. The mind can't erase what the heart can't delete. If
Oh,
your
that's
heart,
good.
if your heart has not deleted what previously happened to you, what previous trauma, hurt from anybody, but since today we're talking about relationships as far as romantic wise, but it can be from family, friends, or whomever, but especially from any romantic relationship, if your heart can't delete it, it's never going to be erased from your mind. So you have to do the work to get the hurt out of your heart. It doesn't mean you won't ever forget it, but if if you don't do the work to get it out your heart, then how can you move on to the next person, or allow the next person to come along, whoever they may be, because it may be somebody totally different than what you was thinking of. I mean, a lot of people, you just never know who God will let you come across who could be that person for you. You can look at them and be like, no, they done this, and I ain't into that, and ooh, she's not doing this, and I'm into this. But you just never know. And
Right.
opposites do attract. This, likeness has its ways, as of course, but because there can be a balance that you may not realize, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I would say, the mind can't erase what the heart can't delete.
The
So,
mind can't erase with the heart or delete.
yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so that would be the brain drop that I would say, and people just gotta, realize that on this journey, no matter what age you are, in your mid-30s, late 30s, early 40s, mid-40s, or beyond, life is life. Feelings are feelings. We're human, but at the same time, you got to not only use your common sense, use your spiritual sense, use your discernment, your intuition, but the best to your best ability, try not to overthink. And I have to tell this to myself daily, not pertaining to relationships, but pertaining to everything I'm trying to do, because the more you try to do that's pertaining to your purpose, the more the enemy throw at you. And it'll frustrate me. So I have to tell myself, JD, don't overthink. I know you don't like this, but don't overthink. So when it comes to trying to talk to somebody, or when that time comes to a relationship, for me, it shouldn't really be hard at all, because I'm dealing with a whole lot of stuff that has nothing to do with that, because that's where my focus is right now. Like I said, I do go out from time to time. I've been asked out. Or I've met people out or whatnot, but I don't make it a focal point right now. But, I mean, it's good to hang out, converse, because it's no problem for me to get up and go do what I want to do on my own, and I do that from time to time too, but at this point, until I really, as I'm pursuing my purpose, that woman's got to match up with all of that. She's got to be able to come in the picture and not be a distraction, but be, not be a liability, but be an asset.
Right.
Yes, so yeah, that's how I would sum that up. So yeah.
That was good that you gave us several brain drops, but that is what JD does. So it's all good. But I want to thank you for doing this live tonight. A lot, of course, I'm gonna rewatch it and listen for myself as well, not just listen for other people, listen for myself, because there's stuff I can get there too. Just because one thing I do like about when you talk and speak, even though we're talking about breakups, things you say can go for other areas in your life. So it's not just this one area, you know what I'm saying? And this go for both genders too. So it's not, you can pull a lot from when you speak versus one thing.
Oh, most definitely.
But yeah, thank you all for who are tuning in live with us tonight. Erica, thank you for tuning in. And also those who are watching the replay, thank you as well. I know everybody couldn't be here at 7:30, or maybe they couldn't stay the whole time, but whatever time you choose to listen, thank you. We appreciate you, and feel free to share this live. If you want to follow Jerry, he is at Life Coach Jerry Davis. Also follow the Cap. Okay, you go ahead. Tell them what.
On my IG page, Life Coach Jerry Davis. My Linktree, Jerry Davis. If you have any young man or man in your life that that's in need of any life coaching or consulting, dealing with life issues, I'll let you guy. My stuff is up on my Linktree, as well as any need a speaker. I am I'm aggressively up in my speaking engagements going into this fall. So all of that information is on my Linktree, which is on my IG page, Life Coach Jerry Davis, as well as my Facebook page, Life Coach Jerry Davis as well. But the book, Five Dimensions of a Man Reloaded, that link is on there, but it's on Amazon. But you want to gift it to any man in your life, or for you ladies that want to read, there's some nuggets in there for everybody. But yeah, and then tune into the CAP podcast. We had 7 wonderful episodes where Shamel was a part of it, along with my co-host Erica. Now it's me and Erica, but she's still an alumni of the CAP. And so tune into that. We 8 episodes in. We're changing up some things, but we're still trying to put forth good content, engaging content, grown folks content. So definitely tune into that on YouTube and all the streaming services, audio, Spotify. If you got an Apple phone, Apple Podcasts, Google, Amazon Music. And we just everyday people trying to do some extraordinary things. Ordinary people trying to do some extraordinary things in this life, this journey called life.
Yeah. All right, John. We're just ordinary people. See, I thought I was going to sing. But I'm singing tonight. Okay, I think my signal went out. Can y'all still hear me? Oh, something is happening. But we are at the end. We've made it to the end. I'm not sure if I'm still going through or Jerry has left us. But again, thank you again, Jerry, for coming in tonight. And if you all want to purchase Girl Forget All That, yeah, he's gone. Girl Forget All That. The link is in my bio. And to hear about more about, my prior healing process, when I get back to the dating scene, just all my journey from the last 5 years, because I talk about a lot of things in these last 5 years. It was 5 years ago, well, up into last year, I talk about things that happened with me moving forward from that relationship. It's all good. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. And we will see you. Oh, I'm sorry. Thursday. I'll be back Thursday with Miss the Date Thyself Coach. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited about her as well. I've been following her for a while. She used to be called the Singles Coach, but now she's called the Date Thyself Coach. But she'll talk more about herself when she gets here on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time right here on Instagram. So hope you guys can join us then as well. So we will see you guys later. Bye. Okay, Jerry is coming back. Let's see if he has to say some ending. Okay. Hello. Oh, I said hello. We on the phone. Okay. Jerry came in and he left, but he probably wanted to, well, I don't know. He probably wanted to just end it right because we did not end right because it messed us up. Instagram. Come on now. Um, but yeah, the brain drop is so this. I'm going to end up here, y'all, for real. The brain drop that Jerry gave about the heart is so on point with with a scripture that I am focusing on at this moment to prepare me for my next season. And you know what? I'm probably going to share that scripture at another time because I do a verse of the week on Mondays. And so if you missed the verse of the week, it's posted. It's a very special verse. I'm focused. I'm reading that scripture as well right now as well to prepare me for a different season. So not that I have came out of a relationship recently, but just script. God's word is just what is the word I'm looking for? Multi-purpose. You can use it. A scripture can apply to everyone differently. So it's just great. And I think Jerry, is he here? I see him, but I don't see him. I see his name, but I don't. But Jerry, I don't know what happened. But we are going to close out. Thank you again for tuning in, everybody. I hope you can join us Thursday night. Uh-oh, I don't know. Uh, I don't know what happened.